Revan, once a Jedi Knight, had become the Sith Lord Darth Revan, until he was redeemed by the Jedi Knight Bastila Shan and a group of companions. After defeating the Sith Emperor, Revan set out to explore the unknown regions of the galaxy, hoping to uncover the true origins of the dark side. During his journey, Revan discovered a powerful ancient technology known as the Starforge, which could produce an infinite number of warships, droids, and weapons. Revan recognized the threat this technology posed to the galaxy and decided to destroy it. However, during his attempt to destroy the Starforge, Revan was caught in a temporal anomaly that sent him back in time. Revan found himself in a different era, before the Clone Wars, before the rise of the Empire, and before the fall of the Jedi Order. He found himself on the desert planet of Tatooine, where he sensed a strong Force presence. Following his intuition, he stumbled upon a young slave boy named Anakin Skywalker. Anakin was a natural pilot, mechanic, and warrior, and he possessed a raw connection to the Force that Revan had never encountered before. Revan saw potential in Anakin and decided to take him under his wing, becoming his mentor and teacher. Revan realized that Anakin was the chosen one, the one who would bring balance to the Force, but he also knew that Anakin needed guidance to achieve his destiny. Revan spent years training Anakin, teaching him about the Force, the Jedi, the Sith, and the dangers of the dark side. He also shared his knowledge of the galaxy and his experiences with Anakin, giving him a unique perspective that no other Jedi had. As time passed, Anakin grew stronger, wiser, and more mature, becoming a true Jedi Knight under Revan's tutelage. Together, Revan and Anakin formed their own order, a blend of Jedi and Sith teachings that focused on balance, harmony, and self-discovery. They called themselves the Guardians of the Force and swore to protect the galaxy from both the Jedi and the Sith, who they saw as two sides of the same coin. They also decided to keep their order secret, as they knew that the Jedi Council and the Sith Lords would not approve of their philosophy. Revan and Anakin traveled the galaxy, seeking knowledge, wisdom, and allies. They encountered many challenges and dangers, but they also made many friends and allies, including the Mandalorian clans, the Wookiees, the Twi'leks, and even the Hutts. They also gained the loyalty of the 501st Legion, a clone trooper unit that had been abandoned by the Republic and was looking for a new purpose. Meanwhile, the Clone Wars raged on, tearing the galaxy apart. Revan and Anakin refused to take sides in the conflict, seeing it as a pointless and destructive war that only served the interests of the Republic and the Separatists. They helped the Mandalorians, who were also neutral in the war, to defend their territory and liberate their people from both the Republic and the Separatists. As Revan and Anakin gained more power and influence, they also attracted the attention of their old enemies, the Jedi Council and the Sith Lords. The Jedi saw Revan as a fallen hero who had to be stopped, while the Sith saw him as a threat to their dominion. Revan and Anakin faced many challenges and battles, both physical and moral, as they tried to stay true to their beliefs and protect their order. One of their biggest challenges came when they discovered that the Starforge was not destroyed after all, but hidden in the depths of the galaxy. Revan and Anakin knew that they had to destroy it once. As Revan and Anakin continued to build their own order, they faced numerous challenges and obstacles along the way. One of their biggest challenges came from the Jedi Order and the Sith Empire, both of whom saw their growing power as a threat to their own dominance. The Jedi were particularly wary of Revan's return, as they believed him to be a fallen Jedi who had once served the Sith Empire. They feared that he would seek revenge on them for their past actions, and they were determined to stop him from gaining too much power. The Sith, on the other hand, saw Revan as a potential ally in their fight against the Jedi. They believed that he had the knowledge and experience necessary to help them defeat the Jedi once and for all, and they were willing to do whatever it took to bring him back to their side. Despite these challenges, Revan and Anakin remained focused on their goal of creating a new, more balanced order that would be free from the dogmatic teachings of both the Jedi and the Sith. They recruited new members from across the galaxy, including former Jedi and Sith who had grown disillusioned with their respective orders. As their power grew, Revan and Anakin began to encounter resistance from other factions as well. The Republic saw their growing empire as a threat to their own sovereignty, while the criminal underworld saw them as a potential rival to their own power. Through it all, Revan and Anakin remained steadfast in their belief that they were doing what was right for the galaxy. They continued to fight for their cause, even as they faced increasingly difficult challenges and setbacks. One of their greatest triumphs came when they discovered the location of the Starforge, a massive space station that was capable of producing an endless supply of ships and weapons. With the Starforge under their control, Revan and Anakin were able to expand their empire even further, and they became an even greater force to be reckoned with. As their power grew, Revan and Anakin began to realize that they needed to make some difficult choices in order to maintain their vision of a more balanced and just galaxy. They had to decide whether to ally themselves with the Jedi, the Sith, or neither, and they had to choose how to deal with their enemies in a way that was fair and just. In the end, Revan and Anakin chose to remain neutral in the ongoing Clone Wars, neither supporting the Jedi nor the Sith. They focused their efforts on liberating the Outer Rim from slavery and oppression, and they made it their mission to bring peace and justice to the galaxy. Despite the challenges and obstacles they faced along the way, Revan and Anakin remained committed to their vision until the end. They built an empire that was fair and just, and they left a lasting legacy that would be remembered for generations to come. As Revan and Anakin continued to travel the galaxy, they encountered many planets suffering from poverty and oppression. They soon decided to take matters into their own hands and formed their own order, which they called the Knights of the Star. The Knights were dedicated to the protection of the galaxy and the betterment of its people. Revan and Anakin began recruiting new members to their order, including many Jedi who were disillusioned with the Council and its handling of the war. They also formed alliances with other groups, such as the Mandalorians and the Wookiees, who shared their vision of a better galaxy. As the Clone Wars raged on, Revan and Anakin remained neutral, refusing to take sides in the conflict. They believed that the war was doing more harm than good, and that the true enemy was not the Separatists or the Republic, but the Sith who were manipulating both sides for their own gain. Meanwhile, the Jedi Council became increasingly concerned about Revan's presence in the galaxy. They believed that he was a threat to the balance of the Force and that he needed to be brought to justice. They dispatched several Jedi to capture him, but all of them failed. The Sith, on the other hand, saw Revan as a potential ally. They sent several emissaries to him, offering him power and wealth if he would join them. But Revan refused, knowing that the Sith could never be trusted and that their ultimate goal was the destruction of all that was good in the galaxy. Despite the opposition they faced, Revan and Anakin continued to build their empire. They founded the Starforge, a massive space station capable of producing fleets of ships and armies of droids, which they used to maintain peace and order in the galaxy. The Republic and the Separatists were both wary of the Knights of the Star, but they also recognized the good that they were doing for the galaxy. They decided to allow the Knights to continue their work, as long as they did not interfere in the war. As the Clone Wars drew to a close, Revan and Anakin knew that their work was far from over. They had freed countless worlds from slavery and oppression, but there were still many more that needed their help. They continued to travel the galaxy, recruiting new members to their order and spreading their message of hope and freedom.